You're just so fucking pathetic now. You and your whole fucking movement. Yeah, I went to go see how much money Cyberfrog 3 is making. So I typed Cyberfrog 3 into the Indiegogo search engine, and it doesn't come up. You can't find it anywhere. Turns out Cyberfrog 3 is shadow banned now. Yep. Cyberfrog 3 shadow banned on Indiegogo. All of those millions he made on there, and they fucking, what's the thanks he gets? You know, making that little percentage for Indiegogo, whatever it was. Oh, they decided to shadow ban him. But why? Why did they shadow ban him? Like, God, these people are so stupid. When you go look at what happened, I guess in his update section, he left a little advertisement for one of his other campaigns. Yep. But the bottom line is, you're not supposed to advertise for other campaigns in your update section. It's against the terms of service. And they were warned. They were fucking warned a long, long time ago. Vicky warned them all. Her and Dean did a whole video about it. And what they do? They said, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Homeless cat lady, blah blah blah," and like that, like one by one, they keep getting shadow banned, and they wonder why, and they wonder why. And you go look, and they're always advertising for other campaigns in their update section, and that's the reason why you're getting fucking shadow banned, because you're breaking the terms of service. You stupid pieces of shit. You were warned. You were fucking warned a long time ago. You get what you fucking deserve. Stupid motherfuckers. Yeah, but they'll say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter," because everybody gets the comic from the links that we put on the YouTube and in the Twitter or whatever. You know, you're really, really limited in your appeal and reach there. Like I said, the only people that take that shit seriously, Comicsgate or Cyberfrog or whatever, is an ever shrinking pool of balding, low testosterone, irrelevant boomers and Gen Xers. That's what's going on. Nobody even gives a shit enough about Cyberfrog to even bother scanning it to the fucking internet. If that was it, Ethan, that would be the most heartbreaking thing of all. That nobody even cares enough about your story to share it with the world. Like, that would be the most heartbreaking thing. Like, no, he would rather, make that little bit of money or whatever. And he's acting like he has some sort of a choice in the matter. Like, if he wants to put a PDF out there or not. It's like, no, motherfucker, you have no choice in the matter. Like, the people who buy your comic, they're the ones who have that choice. And they choose not to, because nobody gives a shit. Most of the people don't even read it, I bet. They put it in a fucking sealed whatever and put it on in their collection or whatever to collect dust, thinking it's gonna be worth money someday. Nobody even bothers to read the shit. Like, to me, I couldn't think of a more sad fate for my comic to end up as a Comicsgate book where you get a few thousand people read it, most of them balding, low testosterone, irrelevant boomers and Gen Xers. They don't actually read it. They'll buy it, but they don't read it. And that's only a few thousand if you're one of the upper echelons. Like, to me, I couldn't think of a more sad fate for a comic. And they think that that's winning a culture war. No, you ain't winning shit. You're just acting as a small pool of pay piggies that are subsidizing a bunch of retired ex-industry professionals. That's all it is. That's what Comicsgate is. It's a retirement home for ex-industry professionals to go milk an ever-shrinking pool of pay piggies. That's what it is. Nothing more. Yeah, it's real sad is what it is. Everybody within that whole sphere, real sad characters. They need a little bit of life injected into the movement. I think Ethan was trying to do that. I guess he was working behind the scenes to try to bring Andrew Tate into the fold, from what I hear. Yeah, I guess Andrew Tate, the infamous influencer and soon to be fucking thrown in jail for human trafficking in Romania, dude. I guess he put out a comic, and it doesn't look very good. I mean, it looks like sub narwhal levels of art. Like, oh my god. But I guess Ethan His blood funnel smelled money. He's like, ah. So he like went and tried to get a hold of Andrew Tate behind the scenes and wants to bring him into the fold, hook him up with a better artist, I guess. Probably gonna tap Matt Barr. That would be funny if Andrew Tate decides to grab an oar to clear Comicsgate, and then he fucking jumps in like starts going on to the CG Kings. Matt Barr becomes his new artist. But then 1 year, 2 years, 3 years goes by, but Matt Barr's stupid lazy ass still hasn't drawn his fucking book. He's still acting like a little bitch on Twitter like he always does. Andrew Tate's like, "Where's my book? Where's my book? Why haven't you fucking drawn this yet?" Like, "Oh, I'm acting like a little bitch on Twitter, like I always do." Matt Barr impression. No, literally like a rock and roll ninja. That should have been done years ago. Like Matt Barr, all he does is act like a little bitch on Twitter all day. Like, this is why the fucking book doesn't get done. He decided to go all in with Comicsgate, and that's what Comicsgaters do. Instead of doing their books, they act like little bitches on Twitter all day. So the books don't get done. Years go by. The next thing you know, fucking all of your fan base that supported you for the book 2 and Rainbow Brute don't no longer want to fucking buy your book. So instead of crossing the 7 figures mark, you barely cross the 500,000 mark, only because you had to do stupid little gimmicks. I guess he's got a little fucking Hot Wheels car, a little fucking Toad Hot Wheels car, a Cyberfrog car or whatever. You imagine being a full grown man and being enticed by a fucking little Hot Wheels car like that in such a way? Like, Jesus Christ, these people are so sad and pathetic. But I guess, well, like I said, they're ever shrinking. Old Norm Leonard himself, I guess, well, nobody's heard from him. Yep. The man who does the Mr. Potato Head memes. Yeah, he hasn't been heard from. Yeah, I wonder if old Norm took the jab. I wonder. I wonder. I wonder how many of his stupid cuck fans followed his lead and took the jab just because their dear leader did, and how many of them are no longer within their mortal coil right now, all because of that stupid piece of shit following his lead. I wonder how many. Even if it's just one, it's hilarious. Yeah, Wanger was right. Wanger was fucking right. It was all bullshit. He shouldn't have acted like a little hysterical bitch over it. Now what happened? He got the jab, and he fucking almost had a brush with the Reaper himself. Now Big Daddy holds his life in the palm of my hands. Like, if I decide to really fucking Superman troll that piece of shit one day, I have little doubt I can induce a coronary right there on the spot. Sudden death. It's one of the side effects. Sudden death. But at the end of the day, well, let me phrase it by saying this. Back when I first started following Comicsgate, way back in the day, it was after I found Ethan's channel after he did his last Jedi review. Then he started, and I was also watching some Richard C. Meyer at the time before he became a total fucking cum slurping cuck. But anyway, I saw Ethan. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take this old property of mine, Cyberfrog, that I used to do back in the day, and I'm gonna reboot it, and we're gonna release it, and we're gonna start a whole new movement, and it's gonna be like Image 2.0, blah blah blah." And I don't know if he actually said that or whatever. It's just paraphrasing. So I'm like, "Oh, cool. This sounds exciting." Anyway, about 6 months later, I was doing whatever, and I came back to start watching, videos again and see how things had progressed. And he was still on the first book, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, is this the first book still that he's promoting or whatever? Like, this was 6 months later. I'm still in normie mindset. This is like in 2017, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, this guy does like monthly comics, doesn't he? Or he used to do monthly comics. Why is it taking him so long to do this one fucking book? It doesn't make no sense. Anyway, fucking year goes by. I think it was like 2 years, something like that, when the book fucking finally came out. Yeah, I think it was 2017, 2018, sometime when he released it. But the bottom line is, to me, it didn't really make sense why a guy who can normally do monthly comic books all of a sudden can't have one book come out within a 6-month window. Because to me, the way I saw it is, for this to be a viable thing, to be a real movement, like at least every 6 months, you got to have a graphic novel coming out. But it just didn't happen. And what happened was, well, there's an old saying, a fish stinks from the head down. And everybody followed Dear Leader's fucking lead. And all of their books became late as fuck. Years late, even. And what it did was it killed all semblance of momentum that the quote-unquote movement had, and turned it into nothing more than a retirement home for Ethan and his friends. Whereas it once could have been something legitimate, where, you know, it could have been a real place for independent comic book creators. But instead, it got turned into a little reservation that will ultimately fade into irrelevance. Now, what if that was what Ethan's job was? What if Ethan is not who he says he is? What if he's actually a controlled opposition leftist, and he's doing exactly what his mission is? To create a little reservation, to collect all sorts of right-wing and conservative talent, to where they will ultimately fade into irrelevance and never, never, ever achieve mainstream status ever again. If they were once mainstream, no. Could it be? Create some sort of black hole within the independent comic book underground to suck up all of that, kind of like how Vox Day was, but in a much more effective version of Vox Day. Like, originally, it was Vox Day's mission to create that little reservation to collect right-wing talent, but they saw that Ethan would have done a much better job, so Vox went to go do his own thing to kind of supplement it, so to speak. Yeah, in case anybody didn't figure out who Vox Day is, that's who he is. He's a fucking glowy and a half. Yeah, there's nobody with an intelligent mind that thought that the QAnon psyop was real. And Vox Day was all in with the QAnon psyop. Yeah, that guy is glowy and a half. And he was on my radar as a glowy a long time ago, before the Q psyop even. His real name isn't even Fox Day. That's his code name or whatever. Create these little black holes over there in pop culture and society, just collect any sort of conservative and right-wing talent there is, and ultimately ensure that they never leave that reservation and they never ever achieve relevance or mainstream status. And they will never be taken seriously. Whether Ethan Van Sciver is indeed a controlled opposition leftist, or just a lazy piece of shit that can't handle his fucking business, as wannabe Tony Soprano ass motherfucker, born insecure, low IQ, bald, closet homosexual piece of shit, which he probably most likely is. But he's probably a fucking leftist too, to a degree. Hell, he likes the Barbie movie. Yeah, any man who gave a glowing review to Esam, I'm not going to trust any of his fucking reviews on anything. You stupid piece of shit. He was all about white knighting for that Barbie movie there for a while. Fuck, every time I tuned in, it was Barbie this, Barbie that. Fuck, why can't you stop talking about Barbie, you stupid piece of shit? Nope, can't stop talking about Barbie. His fucking chat was giving him shit for it too, a lot of people. You're a full-grown ass man. You shouldn't be fucking watching Barbie, let alone talking about it. I hope you lose subs over it. I hope it fucking hurts your heart, and you get that fucking itis in there. Stupid fuck. Killed by the Barbie movie. Wouldn't that be funny? Sitting there arguing with his chat about the Barbie movie, about how great it is. No, you guys don't understand. Barbie's great. I'm right. You're wrong. And his heart starts working. Next thing you know, fucking keels over right there. Fucking face first onto the keyboard. Eventually, Andrea walks in, finds him, screams, ah! They go back and re-watch the tapes and realize that it was the Barbie. Like, arguing about Barbie with his fucking chat was the thing that did him in. God, that would be fucking hilarious. That'd be worthy of a fucking lolcow thread right there. Like, that's how he died, arguing about Barbie with his chat? Fuck. I remember I did a whole comedy bit about this a long time ago about him keeling over from the jab one of these days in his driveway coming home from the Amish markets with a handful of pies. All of a sudden, it starts hitting him right there in the driveway. His last words are, "Not like this. Not like Uche. Not like fucking Uche." Yeah, Uche. That one dude. Yeah, Uche Naware. He was a part of the Geeks and Gamers squad for a while. An ex-NFL player for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe. Maybe it was the Panthers. I forget. One of those cat teams. But anyway, yeah, he's one of those militant jab types. Like, if you don't take the jab, you should be thrown in jail, or you should have something like, I forget. But he was all about, taking away people's rights if they didn't take the jab or whatever. And sure enough, he died of a mysterious heart condition or whatever one day. I'm sure they'll end up blaming climate change. Yeah, it's the unspoken death. Like, they won't fucking say it. Because if they say it, then it means the conspiracy theorists were right. It means people like me were fucking right. And these people would literally rather die than admit that people like Big Daddy were right. Yep. No fucking joke. PsyOps. Running fucking PsyOps. Yeah, Ethan got cucked by the PsyOp. Let the media scare him. Wore the mask. Took the fucking farm juice in his arm. And then he just got out of the hospital because of the heart problems. We'll see how it ends up with him. Yeah, maybe I'll just go and put him out of his misery. Take him behind the barn, old Yeller style, one day. Just troll the fuck out of him until his heart gives out. Maybe. Depends on my mood. But I'm at the point where I just don't give a fuck anymore. Like, Comicsgate is just, it's just real sad, is what it is, looking at it. Once you get to a certain point where it's just like, it just snaps and you just don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, the one good thing about Comicsgate is it inspired me to start creating a comic of my own way back in the day. Now that it's finally finished, going through the whole editing process, really learned a lot. Yeah, making a comic is a lot harder than one thinks. Yeah, I learned to love it though. It's kind of like directing a movie and creating a video game, all rolled into one, but in like paper form. It's all about the story, basically. And of being one man and only working on a real limited budget, I can never, direct movies or make video games. But I can make comics, though. So all of those great ideas I would have for movies or video games, I can instead put in the comic book form. And if they prove popular enough one day, hell, they might get a movie or video games made about it, maybe. God willing. If they're popular enough. Alrighty, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Well, I'm doing all right, getting good grades. The future's so bright that I gotta wear shades. Gotta wear shades. Right brain, left brain, feeling all the rage. The future's so bright that I gotta wear shades. Gotta wear shades. And I'm on the edge of glory, hanging on the moment of truth. And I'm on the edge of glory. Tell me, bitch, what you gonna do? I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I wear my sunglasses at night, so I can hide. sunglasses at night. So I can hide. I wear my sunglasses at night.